Dear School Dress Code, I would like to take a moment of your time to explain to you why you and the modesty pedestal you stand on are both a joke. How maybe deep down you really do believe you're protecting me in some sort of way, you're actually in reality hurting me deeply, and basically telling me, and the boys you are protecting me from, that we are less of human beings because of a basic instinct of lust, that despite layers of clothing or years of therapy is inevitable in human nature, because we are in fact animals. And how are animals made? Sex. I can assure you I can dress like a Catholic nun, and there will still be at least one boy who will wonder what my sky-clad body looks like under my robes. Forbidding me from showing my shoulders in 90-degree weather does not prevent teenage boys from becoming aroused. Furthermore, how about instead of worrying how many holes I have in my face, why don't you focus on the quality of my education? So instead of shaming me for my body and for my gender and sexualizing my body, why don't you teach me to value my mind, to think for myself, to be a valuable asset to changing the standards and fighting for the bettering of the human race, instead of painting me out to be a cheap pornographic magazine meant to be hidden, enjoyed in private, and never spoken of, to be shrouded in shame and guilt. Maybe, just maybe, you could teach me to wonder why Poe wrote of many women as different souls, though he recordedly loved only one. Teach me to value that I'm made up of stardust, and my lungs pull in the air of the universe, instead that my body is nothing more than breasts, a butt, and what lies between my legs. I have a 10-year-old sister who, I assure you, never leaves the house in much less than a t-shirt and jeans. She's very strict to follow the dress code that you have provided for her safety, and isn't allowed to wear leggings, or even shave yet still I have to jump on many young boys who I've heard on the bus catcalling her, sexualizing her even though she isn't but barely even old enough to have any form of sexual curves or appealing assets. And while I would love to teach her to be proud of her body and to be comfortable in her skin, I can't. Because your lovely young boys and girls, directed by society, have taught this tiny young child, who may I remind you is barely even into puberty, that because she isn't model thin and she isn't a size C-cup bra, which we all must admit would be utterly ridiculous for a 10-year-old girl to be expected to have, she has been taught that she isn't beautiful. That while having boys look at her body and desire it is wrong and dirty, and that this is the only way she can measure her self-worth. That she doesn't even live up to being sexualized, the lowest of lows. Basically, that she is not even worthy of being degraded. I am not my body. She is not her body. We are not bodies, we are souls. So about teaching us to show off the soul and mind that we are, instead of shaming us into hiding the body we have, and for whatever ignorant reason, are still tied to and defined by.